Hi friends, it's Lisa Hetrick, illustrator for Gina K Designs, and I'm so grateful you could join me today. I have a fun card to share with you today that's inspired by this card and this holiday vintagey color palette. So let's dive in and talk about the supplies. So I'm going to be using several stamp sets for this project. So this stamp set right here is the Pop Art Flowers stamp set, and I'm going to be using the botanical leaves in that set. And there's also a companion die set that's available to that. For that, I have the Just for Today set, and I'm thinking about using the wonky polka background in this project. I have winter hugs, and literally I use the word joy all the time, and I haven't even taken it off the block. I'm going to be using these botanicals from my Something Good stamp set as well, and just kind of mix mashing them together and using the big floral piece here from the You Being You stamp set. So what I did is I just kind of went to my stamps and kind of mashed them all up and took a peek at what I had and decided to kind of put them all together. I'm also going to be using the single stitched circle die and the single stitched rectangular die. And yeah, I just love these dies for the layering. And then here is the Pop Art Flowers companion die set. I'm going to be using those two botanical pieces. So I went ahead and I cut out my rectangle and my circle. And here are the other pieces of cardstock. I'm using the layering white Gina K cardstock cut to 4 by 5 1/4 for the base. And I have a piece of the Turquoise C cardstock cut to an A2 sized, the finished size at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I've got an extra piece, just kind of random piece of the layering weight cardstock cut here to do my botanical elements. And here are the colors in the color palette. I've got the Gina K Grass Green. I have Passionate Pink. I have Cherry Red. Love this red. I have Innocent Pink. And I have Turquoise C. And I'm not sure if I'm going to use that color yet or not. I know I'm going to be using the pinks and the reds and the green. So let's just get going. I've got my tie detail here, and I have some Gina K Connect glue. Love the glue. And I have a pair of scissors for some fussy cutting. Okay, I've got my circle single stitched die piece cut out and ready to go. And I'm going to ink up the large floral from the You Being You stamp set, the line art floral. And I'm going to create a pattern onto this piece of cardstock. So I'm going to ink it up with these two colors. I've got the cherry red and I've got the innocent pink. I'm going to start with the innocent pink first and layer that down. So I'm stamping it 3 times and layering it down onto the cardstock. And then I'm going to go back and stamp over that with the cherry red. And I did a little bit of stamping on and stamping off just to get a variation in that innocent pink color. The cherry red is pretty intense, but I love it. So you can see I've only inked it up once, and then I've stamped it 3 times to get that look. Okay, so now I'm moving on to the botanical pieces. And these 2 botanicals that I'm going to stamp out are from the Pop Art Flowers stamp set. And I love the leaves and the greenery in this. It's just very modern and fresh, and I just love it. I do a lot of leaves and greenery in my stamp sets. So when I see them in other people's stamp sets, and this one was by Alicia, I just love it. And I love to mash them up with all my card projects. So I'm just going to go ahead and stamp these 2 larger leaves pieces out twice, and then I'm going to take the smaller piece, which has like five little leaves on it, and I'm going to stamp that out once. And then I'm going to go in here and grab the other botanical leaf piece from my Something Good stamp set and use that as a contrasting piece. So I'm going to go ahead and ink that up and stamp that out as well with the grass green. So I did stamp all 4 of these pieces with the grass green. So I've got some variation here, and it's going to create some nice contrast with the leaves in the final project. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out that botanical piece, and I'm also going to use the dies from the Pop Art Flowers stamp set and cut these 3 other pieces out as well. So I'll have my die cut pieces ready to go for the next step. And I'm just loving it. Look at the dies. They work so, so well. So I went ahead and cut them out. And I have all of my embellishment pieces to start building the card. So I'm going to go ahead and put the base of the white cardstock onto the turquoise sea and get started with the layering. So we're jumping right in here. I'm taking a little bit of the foam tape, the Gina K Designs foam tape. I love this tape because you can tear it and shampoo. You've got it. And it gives you just enough height, but not like super, super, super high. I love that. So I just went ahead and put a little bit of that tape on the back just to pop this up just a little bit and position this piece, the circle piece, down in that top third. So now I'm going to take the leaf embellishments and just kind of layer them around the circle, and I'm kind of playing with what's going to go behind the circle and what's going to kind of layer over top of the circle to get a little bit of visual interest with the design. So you can see that I'm just kind of layering and playing and just adding a little bit of glue and moving these pieces around a little bit to see what's giving me interesting look and feel. And I'm kind of digging it. I love just how this is all coming together. It came together really quickly. I didn't have a vision of it in my mind of what it was going to look like. So I really think the design composition is working here with all these leaves and greenery just kind of going around the circle. And I'm kind of playing a little bit with getting a little bit more dimension with the leaves just by curling them up with my finger. Okay, so the rectangular piece that I had created with the wonky polka didn't really work out. So you might have seen that a little bit in some of the footage in the beginning. Well, it really didn't work out. I didn't really like the way it looked. You can see here that I stamped joy on it. As a layering piece, it didn't work. It just didn't work at all. So I pivoted, I flipped it over. I added a little bit of the innocent pink to the Gina K cardstock and just created a solid piece of paper with the color, and then I stamped joy on it and just kind of trimmed it down. So now I'm just taking my scissors and I'm trimming in a little triangle here to create a little banner element for the sentiment. And this is just my quick and easy way of doing it. There's lots of dies, banner dies, and things that you could use as well. But I really just wanted something super simple, but something that pulled that pink color down a little bit, because we've at the bottom of that circle, it got a little bit heavy with the grass green color. And I really wanted to pull that pink and reddish tone color down a little bit to the bottom of the card. So I'm nesting this sentiment. I'm just playing around with nesting it up underneath all of the different leaves that I've got going on here in the embellishment. So I'm just kind of noodling around with it a little bit, getting it in position, just seeing where I might like it before I go ahead and glue it down. So I think this is a really good spot for it. I'm kind of digging it. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit of the Gina K Connect glue to the back and just pop it on. Now I could add a little pop dot, but I really don't want the height. I really just want it to nest right into the leaves and just kind of be a finishing sentiment piece right here at the bottom mixed in with the green. And I just love that pop of pink with the really simple sentiment joy. Just loving the way this whole card is coming out. It's really simple but elegant and kind of classic. I just love it. Okay, so now I felt like it needed just a little bit of bling. And you know me, if you've been following my channel, I don't do a lot of bling or things that add a lot of height to the card project. I like the stamps to be the star of the show. But I just pulled some of these red and pink sequins that are pretty low profile and I thought would be pretty fun. I'm just using this jewel picker to add the sequins to the dot of Gina K Designs glue. And I really like this little tool. I lost it in my studio space for a while, and it just resurfaced and revealed itself. So I'm super excited to kind of get it back into action. I really like this because it's sticky on that little ball, and it just kind of holds all those little pieces for you that are kind of tough to get, to get between your fingers and put on your card. So I just adding a little bit more glue on the outside of the circle now, just to create a little bit more movement outside of the circle. Everything seems to be concentrated inside and just around. So I'm just adding these 2 pink sequins on the outside just to give it a little bit of extra pop. And I'm really digging the way this card came out. It is totally not like what I had in mind when I started. But I'm really liking it. So here's the inspiration over on the right. And then with the rectangle as another layer behind it. And then here's the final card on the left without the rectangle, with adding a little bit more of the leaf botanical, some sequins to just get a little bit more movement going. And I'm really, really digging it. I love this card. Someone's going to get it from me for the holidays, and it's just the perfect color palette for this time of year. I hope you enjoyed today's card tutorial. Thanks so much for joining me. Please consider sharing the joy by liking this video and subscribing to this channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.